Okay, today is May the 12th, and I haven't done a video since May the 4th. I did post one today, the one I did on May 4th was doing my first cuts of hay, but anyway. There's been a lot going on, been real busy. I haven't really had time to even think about, grabbing the GoPro here and mounting it. I have already baled my hay. I baled that hay on the 7th and 8th, 8th and 9th, somewhere in there. It was last Friday and Saturday. So I mowed hay on the 4th and the 5th. Baled that Friday and Saturday. I would have got it all baled on that Friday. I set forth to do that, but I had a little hiccup with the Massey again and the baler, which was just another minor thing. But I'll get to that in a minute. Last week, I took off Thursday and Friday end of last week, which I believe was the 7th and 8th, and started a 96-hour blitz to get as much done as possible on mainly the row crops, on the soybeans, getting those in, and getting some of that first cuts of hay up. I haven't even started to scratch the surface on my hay just yet. I feel that it's a little bit more important to get these beans in the ground right now, just because I think yield potential will be a little bit better, and getting into the bean refinery in time to get a little extra money is also part of that challenge. Didn't get everything done I wanted to do in those 4 days, but I got enough. As of today, there are now 65 acres of beans in the ground. Almost all of the early beans that I planned to plant early are done. However, last Thursday, I had a neighbor that I had been trying to contact off and on, or I had tried to contact a few times over the winter, because he had some land that had been row cropped the past couple of years by someone else, and I wasn't sure if it was available or not. I knew that the other person was not row cropping it anymore for whatever reason, but I was unsure if the landowner was going to be doing hay on it, or if he was going to get somebody else to do it. But anyway, I never successfully got in contact with him. I never could get a phone number that worked, so I never did even leave him a message anywhere that I remember. But anyway, I was doing a burn down on some acreage that we've already planted on Thursday, and I got a phone call out of the blue. Didn't know who it was, and it was my neighbor, and he was wanting to know if I'd be interested in that ground. And that ground joins our property, so I mean, it's right there. It's kind of a no-brainer to get it. It's a little bit up in the air on how long we'll have it, but it will be this year. It could be multiple years at this point. We don't really know. But anyway, the decision came down this morning that we had it. So I made a call yesterday on getting the Pioneer beans, the 49 T99 97Rs that I already had 24 acres worth of those on hand, but I was going to need more. This new acreage turns out to be about 35 acres. I'm going to cut back a little bit on what I was going to, convert hay ground to crop ground. I'm still going to do not quite half, but some of it. Matter of fact, those fields have been cut and baled. I'm going to be moving those bales off tonight in preparation to do burn down tomorrow. And they're showing rain Thursday. See, tomorrow will be Wednesday. Showing rain Thursday night into Friday. Very good chance it's Friday. So I've got a short window to get that ground planted if I can at all possible get it done. I may have to hire my uncle to get some fertilizer put out on that during the day for me. But back to that other 35 acres. Some of it has had the hay. It was reseeded in some ryegrass and some other grasses in the fall. And the landowner was going to bale that for hay, but the stand wasn't the way he liked it. So that's why he wondered if we wanted to put it back row crop. We are going to mow some of it and go ahead and bale it and get it off the field. He's going to keep the hay. So there's going to be a process there on getting that ground ready. We're going to have to find, like I said, they're showing rain now for a little while, so we're going to have to find a dry enough streak to get in there and get the hay out, and then I can start the processes of getting the beans in. So I got my hands on the beans. There was only a few of those units left at the co-op, so I was in a little bit of a hurry to find out if we had it or not, so I could get my hands on those, because that was a high yielding bean for us last year, so I really wanted to plant those again. And we had those beans out before the end of September. We planted some of those beans on May 25th last year and had them out before the end of September, and still was not docked for moisture. They were still within that 13% moisture range on the beans. So that said, in case he decided he wanted to put that back into hay ground, that would allow time to do that. But that's a little bit of what's been going on. It's been kind of wide open. My uncle spent a lot of time getting fertilizer spread. I did some burn downs. I spent a lot of time planting up until Sunday. I planted about half the day Sunday, and then I let my uncle take charge, and then I went and did some more burn downs. Came back that evening, and he went on home, and I finished planting that, which wasn't much left. And we've been having to move. One of the farms is about a 45-minute tractor drive from our farm to it, and the seed drill's about 14 feet wide, so he has to give me an escort down the highway, because we have these hilly, curvy, blind curve roads, and I have to know ahead of time what's coming, so I know when and where I can pull off. I can't just pull off the road anywhere, so that's a little bit of a headache on some of the roads around here, but we've been having to move it back and forth. We moved it. It's back close to home now. We're going to move it back this evening to the farm, so it will be back and ready for me to change over from the 47T 36Rs to the 49T 97R beans and start planting those. But yeah, it's been wide open. I tell you, it's been some long days and late nights keeping up with everything. But we're slowly but surely we're getting it done, and we're getting it done early enough. I feel like we should have a decent yield. If we have some good weather this year, if we get adequate rains and whatnot. The new ground we tilled up's planted. I got that planted. It was dusty as I'll get out. That ground is, boy, is it dry. we're finding that out. A lot of these fields we've planted, we can't normally get into till the end of May, so it has really went from super wet to super dry. I walked one of the fields I burned down last Friday, and it was cracks in the ground already, so it was just drying up that fast. It was still moisture in the ground, but you know, it was just drying up so quick the ground was starting to crack. So anyway, it has made a little bit of a challenge planting, because you kind of go from, you know, wet to dry, which the wet spots are dry enough to plant. It'll get tacky occasionally, and then you're right back into dry for a little bit. So we've just been having to deal with that. They're not big enough spots to mount too much. It's a pain on not keeping the drill from burying the seed or anything like that. Yeah, got that done. So started baling Friday. Got the Massey. I got the bell monitor to Massey. Got everything hooked up. Pulled the baler out. Greased it real quick. Took off. Rolled my first bale with the Massey. Did fine until it started to wrap the first bale, and you know, it started the wrapping cycle, and then I noticed it didn't finish. I looked down and my bell monitor was dead. There was no power. And I was kind of sitting there. The baler was still running. Stupid me made a mistake. I should have shut the baler off as soon as that happened, but it didn't occur in my head what had happened. But the bell monitor initiated the wrapping process, but somewhere in there a fuse blew in the auxiliary power port that feeds the bell monitor in the Massey. I have yet to find which fuse it is and what it's rated, but I'm going to guess it's rated something low, because the baler pulls its power through that port, through the bell monitors into the baler to work the actuators for the net wrap. So when it died, it never cut the net. So I'm sitting there with the baler running, and it's pulling net off that $300+ roll of net wrap. Which luckily I didn't sit there long. I shut it off, but it sucked a good bit of that net wrap off that roll, which was unfortunate. But yeah, I've got a bale of hay sitting out there that looks like it's solid plastic wrap. It's got so much net on it. So that killed about 40 minutes. So I had to run back to the shed. I knew I had one of those jacks that I could, or little ports that I could use to plug up to the bell monitor, that I could hardwire to the battery. So I had to go up there, find it, make me some wires and crimps, and run it out the door to the battery pretty much, and got my bell monitor back powered up and took back off. And I didn't have another problem the rest of the day, except I had the baler. Just baler has very rarely ever jammed on me. This may have been the second time it's ever jammed on me. But it wrapped some hay around the auger in the mega wide pickup there. But I don't know why it did. It did it on the very start of a bale. So I just dumped that little bit out and re-kicked it into a windrow and pulled the jam out and went on. So because of that, I didn't get all my hay baled. So I had to wait till Saturday, about midday, to finish baling. And my hay raker was well enough that he could rake for me. I had to deal with my raking Friday, but he was well enough he could rake for me Saturday. So I unhooked from the seed drill where I was planting, drove the tractor back home so he could rake with the 6415, and we went and finished up what I had cut, and it did perfect. The Massey handles the baler very well, except for whatever the issue was with that fuse has blown. I've still yet to figure that out, but anyway, power wise, shifting wise, I was running 6+ mile an hour baling with the Massey. It was no issue at all. It didn't pull it down or anything. It was I wasn't in any really hilly areas, but it was doing good. So no complaints there. And I've had no other issues with the Massey except for that, and I'm not sure what the deal is there. I don't know if there's a fuse under spec there on that, but for whatever reason there is not a fuse large enough or something spec'd high enough to operate the John Deere bell monitor in the Massey. So I will at some point when I get time dig into that, but right now there's not time. There's other things to be done. But yeah, I've still got a lot of hay to go, but like I said, there's some rainy weather coming, and we got the hay on that new ground we got to get off so we can get beans on that. All the wheat's headed out, and the wheat stalks are starting to brown at the bottom, so the wheat is done. It should start dying out and turning that golden brown here pretty soon, and like I said, we should be picking that possibly the first week of June. Hopefully the first week of June. The sooner we can get that out and get beans in, the better. Anyway, traffic's backing up here a little bit where I gotta get off. But yeah, that's just kind of a little update. I just wanted to let you guys have an update on what was going on. I know you hadn't seen many videos of me or doing anything, but just been busy. But yeah, the new acreage should have us up to around the 175 acre mark on beans this year, so that'll be good. I just hope bean prices don't tank too much, but anyway, that's that. Thanks for watching. I will shut up here and get back to my driving and thinking about what all I'm going to try to get done tonight. It's kind of cloudy, looking like it's going to rain, but there ain't no rain for, like I said, another couple of days, and then it's pretty good chances. We had a pretty good chance last night, but nothing become of it. It was about a 50% chance. It was enough that we were trying to keep the seed drill covered with a tarp and whatnot in case it did rain, because we've been moving it around from field to field, so it hadn't been able to stay in the shed. Anyway, yeah, if I get time, I'll get some action video of stuff going on. Otherwise, that is the update for right now. I'll welcome some rainy weather. It'll help these beans germinate and give me some much needed rest, maybe for a day or two. But once it dries out again, it's going to be wide open again to get that new ground planted and start really hitting the hay hard and getting that done. I've got 4 people wanting hay right now that I got to get hay to. So one of them may come tonight while I'm moving that hay. Another one may come in the next day or two, and then I may see what I can get to some people this weekend. I got that going on too. So, and some of them people, they want their hay before it gets rained. The bales get rained down in the field, but I can't always promise that works out. It's just you know, I do the best I can. Those of you that seen my earlier video of my wagon tire that blew out and destroyed my rim on my hay wagon, it's still sitting there like that. I have got a rim and a tire I bought from a guy that he had a John Deere rim and tire, all the size I needed, same size that was on there, and I got it for $60 from the guy, which I couldn't even buy a new rim for that. So it's just a matter of me going out there and jacking it, bolting it on. I've got to get that done before I've got about 40 bales in one field that I gotta pull out with a wagon. There's no way to get a gooseneck trailer in there, so I gotta do that. But anyway, again, thanks for watching, and I'll shut up this time. See y'all.